series where I reflect on my week as a business owner. We'll cover challenges, wins, lessons, and anything that's top of mind for me. Before we dive in, I do want to give a notable mention to Jai. Jai did this every week for a year last year. We used to work together and we still stay in touch today. He's someone I consider a mentor I look up to a lot. He's achieved some pretty incredible things and there's a lot to learn from people like him in the industry, and he continues to do some amazing things now. So if you're not familiar with his channel, check him out. I will link it below and I will put it on the screen somewhere here. But yeah, a quick rundown on me, who I am, what I do. I'm a 23-year-old business owner. My main business at the moment is a photography studio called That Content Place. I've been running that for about 3 years now, and it's been a pretty fun ride so far. We've had some pretty exciting things happen in the studio and seen some interesting growth, which has been great. Aside from that, I'm also building a content production house for founders focused on personal branding. So that's something that I've just started leaning into in the last few months, and I'm starting to pick up a lot more on. So it's early days, but I'm working with some great people already and learning a ton from them. A big focus for me this year is going to be building out that business. So these videos will cover a lot of the building stage, which I'll be sharing with you all. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, as the theme of this video goes, we're going to be talking about challenges, wins, lessons, and anything that's top of mind for me. So to kick things off, it's the 9th of January, a little over a week into 2025. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you the challenge that I faced in the first week of 2025. So this week's challenge was feeling like I'm never getting enough done. Balancing health, work, and a social life is tough, and work often feels like it should take priority, for me anyway. I recently heard Andy Frisella talk about how balance doesn't apply to serious business owners in the early years of their journey. And I'm starting to understand that for a period of your life, you have to give up a lot and there won't be balance as such. But beyond this, you'll be the guy that can take care of everybody. You can solve problems. You can make everyone's life more comfortable. And personally, for me, I'm willing to trade off balance for now if it means I can make life massively better for myself and for others in the future. So yeah, it's delaying gratification and understanding that balance isn't necessarily something that I'm going to perfect at the moment, but something that I'm working on. Absolutely. Balance for me doesn't necessarily mean equal parts or 50-50 necessarily. For me, it just means finding moments of peace and tranquility, finding ways to recharge so that I'm fit to propel when I need to propel. And whether that's, through exercise or getting coffee with, friends or like-minded people, or even just spending a bit of time in the sun, which I like to do as much as I can. It's just, for me, balance is about slowing down for a brief moment to then speed up and direct that new energy into high impact work. So that's balance to me. And I feel like I do a pretty good job of that now. But at the same time, there's always that feeling of not enough. And I don't think that's ever going to fully disappear. So I guess the solution for that is delegating, putting the right systems in place and automating where possible. And I suppose I'll touch more on that a little bit later when we talk about lessons. But yeah, overall, that's been the challenge of this week, is just feeling like I'm never getting enough done. But I'm also understanding that that's always going to be the case because there's always going to be more to do. So I guess that's the catch-22 of being a young entrepreneur trying to build something worthwhile. And I'm okay with that. Although it does kind of suck at the same time. But hey, yeah, that's my thought and my challenge of the week. Moving on to the win of the week. There was a couple of wins in the last week, but a notable one that I think I should touch on is a drive experience inside a Ferrari 488 Pista. Now, whether you're a car person or not, there's some things in life that are just incredibly beautiful. And for me, supercars are one of them and always have been. So being able to sit inside a Ferrari 488 Pista was pretty surreal. And the opportunity came about because of a founder I'm working with to create some content for their brand. Yeah, it was a surreal experience. And I've had a few of these surreal experiences in the last few months, and they're becoming more common now. But every time I sit inside a car like this, I'm still blown away, and the little inside of me still jumps out and smiles. And it's kind of crazy, because there was a point in my life 5 or 6 years ago where I genuinely would dream about the experiences that I have today. So yeah, it's important, I think, to step back and look at where you are and where you've come from, and appreciate the little moments. And for me, sitting inside a Ferrari 488 Pista was a little moment that brought me a lot of happiness. Aside from the Ferrari, I also had a few other wins, and work-specific wins was some of the content that I put out I'm actually really proud of. And it's rare for me to stop and reflect, but this series finally gives me the chance to do that. So if you want to see the full videos, I'll leave a little bit of them here. But if you want to see the full videos, go check out at Finance with Nav on Instagram. He's another founder that I'm working with. If you're curious about some of the stuff that I do, it's also a great resource for young entrepreneurs as well. Moving on to the lesson of the week. And this has been top of mind for a while now. And honestly, I'm not the best at it, but this is why I want to highlight it in this video in an attempt to hopefully get better. So the lesson of the week is, if you're repeatedly doing a task, automate it. Whether that's through hiring someone or AI or software, find a way to free up time so that I can do higher impact work. And the same goes for you. If you're doing something recurring and you know that you don't need to be doing that task, it can be automated, stop doing the task. Find a way to automate the task, use people power, use AI, use softwares, and free your time up so that you can do higher impact work. This is a personal accountability note to me, as I just touched on. I need to get better at this, and hopefully as I continue to create these videos, you and I both see the growth that takes place, especially in that aspect. Before I end the video, I just want to do a little thing that's been top of mind and something to consider. And that is, you are the product of your daily actions. If you're not where you want to be, ask yourself, what would the happiest, most successful version of you do? Then go and do that thing. And that's a question that I come back to most days, because I find myself at times questioning what I'm doing, why I'm doing certain things. And I always come back to, what would the happiest and most successful version of myself do? And then I do that. So that's all for this week's video. As I said, there will be more of these. This was nice, short, sweet, just to catch up. And as time goes on, I will build on this and go into more behind the scenes and more founder files and more of what I get up to. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.